The best win of the Raptors season, a dominant routing of the Cleveland Cavaliers, a masterclass by Scottie Barnes, another good Quickley game. The bench was great too. I'm excited. Let's go to the film room.
The only thing that's originally filmed is that and I've studied older films and tried to figure out how I got that impression. I was getting meetings right in the cutting room.
The unique thing about film is an art form
exactly.
is the editing.
It was a Scottie Barnes masterclass, putting up 28 points, 10 rebounds, and 8 assists. He was absolutely dominant all throughout this game on both ends of the floor. It started with how physical he was on the offensive end. Attacks the closeout here, gets into the paint, settles for this jump shot. And the great thing about Scottie, and one, by the way, the great thing about Scottie is that when he attacks and when he gets into the paint, he does such a good job of squaring his shots, squaring his shoulders, and getting a decent shot at the basket here. Watch, same thing here. He attacks Mobley off the bounce, and then once again, doesn't find anything, squares his shoulders, fade away, inside, all good. Cavs were really messing up the Raptors with this zone, and so the best player on the Raptors when it comes to being a zone breaker is Scottie Barnes, because he can get into the middle of the floor here, and this area is the most dangerous part of any zone. It is the most open part of any zone, and Scottie, with his improved mid-range jump shot, has gotten excellent looks against zones. And because of his physicality, especially in the paint, he does such a good job of drawing attention. So he has the mismatch here on Donovan Mitchell, just turns around, obviously knows that Jared Allen is going to come to help Mitchell. And so what he does, beautiful wraparound pass to Jakob Poeltl here for the dime and the finish. Third game of the season with 6 stocks, and look at him nexting this pick and roll action. So he stunts in, stopping this pick and roll. So as the nail help, Scottie was in this area first. He comes, stops this drive from Donovan Mitchell, and then is able to recover out to Evan Mobley in this area, block the shot. It is why his length is so dominant defensively and why he's able to utilize it in a really impressive way off of the ball. Blocks this shot, and then the Raptors are out and running. Scottie leaks out, finishes as well. 10 rebounds for Scottie in this game, and the Raptors are at their best when he is grabbing and going. They push in transition, and he is one of the best players at helping them do that. You see here, in transition once again, just recognizes the cutting Jakob. There's only one player on the Raptors that can make those type of plays. Underrated defensive possession from Scottie here. He stunts the drive of Donovan Mitchell in transition. Mitchell carved up the Raptors with the free throws tonight, and that forces Mitchell to take a shot, and he grabs the rebound. Why is it so important for him to grab the rebound? Because when he does, he can do this. Push all the way in transition. A beautiful left-handed no-look pass to Jakob Poeltl for the finish. So Scottie catches it. He has the smaller Sam Merrill on him. Really good job of using the attention that he seeks inside to find Jacoby Walter cutting to the basket. Once again, grab-and-go situation, goes all the way and finishes at the basket. Scottie was elite at doing this tonight. Again, when Scottie is able to get a paint touch, get really deep in the paint, it forces the defense to rotate. Look how many bodies and eyes are on Scottie Barnes. He's looking at Scottie. He's looking at Scottie. They're all ball watching at this point because Scottie has gotten a deep paint touch. And so much help and so much attention. Great job by Jakob Poeltl to shake to the open area of the floor and settles for this floater. Donovan Mitchell gambles here, and Scottie just attacks the closeout. Great job of fighting through the contact of Evan Mobley and finishes here. Another absurd defensive possession by Scottie. So, guarding up on Evan Mobley, not allowing him to put the ball on the floor, and then is able to switch out onto Donovan Mitchell, contain this drive. Great job by Jakob Poeltl of stepping up and contesting in the paint. Does a great job, Scottie does, of relocating out to Sam Merrill and contest this shot. Great defensive possession. Scottie completely blows up this 2-on-1 alley-oop situation between Mobley and Donovan Mitchell. So he stunts the ball handler just so Mitchell can throw that alley-oop, and then immediately recovers out to Mobley, Scottie Barnes has erased so many layups on defense this season, much like this one around the rim, but he does a great job for the rest of the possession, making sure that it forces a shot clock violation for the Cavs. And so, folks, it was a masterclass. And by masterclass, I mean trademark, punch it in. That was one of the best performances of the season for Scottie Barnes. And man, it is just a string of dominant performances from Scottie this season. He has been masterful on both ends of the floor. He has shown it defensively. The offense, obviously, the shooting helped, but I don't even believe he shot that well tonight. He was 1 of 4 tonight from 3, and he still ended up with 28 points, and he only took 3 free throws, and all of that was because of the physicality. All of that was because of the paint touches. All of the creation in transition, grab and go, grab a live rebound, push it, either finish at the basket yourself or find an opening for your teammates. This is the Scottie Barnes that has been promised. This is the all-star, all-NBA, all-defense level Scottie Barnes that we have tried to see. This is the guy. This is the guy. That's why this is such an exciting game. Outside of the fact that the Raptors did a great job all throughout this game of playing some of the best basketball I've seen in years from them. Genuinely years. Last time they were 2 games above 500 was November 28th, 2022. At that time, Pascal Siakam, OG Anunoby, and Fred VanVleet were all still on the team. It genuinely was one of the best performances they've had in seasons. And I say that understanding that the Cavs are on the second night of a back-to-back. It's worth mentioning that last night, the Cavs rested their guys. Donovan Mitchell didn't play, and I believe Evan Mobley didn't play either last night. Got to double check that, I'm not sure. But they rested a few of their players, specifically Donovan Mitchell. And they were gearing up towards this one. Now, it's true. No Darius Garland, no Max Strus, no Lonzo Ball. They were missing a couple of their key rotation players. But nonetheless, this was the best win of the Raptors season, bar none. Easily their best win of the season. And I say that understanding that the Cavs are on the second night of a back-to-back and somewhat hampered. That does not matter. This was a concise and dominant performance from them on both ends of the floor. I thought they did an incredible job of getting into the paint offensively. We're going to talk about Jamal Shead and Immanuel Quickley in a second. And Scottie Barnes was the engine that kept them running on both ends of the floor. He cleaned things up defensively for them when mistakes or gaps were created. And on offense, through transition play and through operating in the pick and roll and through operating in the middle of the floor, especially against that zone, Scottie absolutely dominated. Absolutely dominated. It was genuinely a masterful performance from him. And he's been great to start this year. He has been absolutely stellar to start this year, and that should get you excited. This whole game, truthfully, should get you as a Raptors fan really excited because this Raptors team seems like it's for real. Seems like they actually are cooking with some grease here. And I know it's early in the season, but these are the type of wins that make you kind of like raise your eyebrows and you're like, damn, okay, there's something cooking here. Let's talk about Jamal Shead, who spurred on the Raptors at the end of the first quarter into the second quarter. Between him and Sandro Mamukelashvili, the Raptors bench has formed an identity. I saw someone in the comments the other day saying, oh, we shouldn't call it a bench mob. You know, that mob had its own identity. I actually think that's fair. Whatever you want to call these guys, this second unit that has really given a boost for the Raptors, whether it's the bench mob, whether it's something else, bench quadrant, I don't know. Whatever you want to call them, know this. They've been awesome to start the year. Mamu has been exactly what the doctor ordered, knocking down his threes, working in pick and rolls as a pick and pop threat so that the guards can get downhill, attacking closeouts, being a good driver. All of these things Mamu has brought offensively. He's brought a new layer to this Raptors team, and that has provided them a lot of dynamism. Jamal Shead, though, has, in his second year, I think he looks so much more comfortable with the pace of the NBA. He's not turning the ball over as much. Let me see how many turnovers he had tonight. He ended up with 2 turnovers, but 7 assists. And, you know, like, Not all assists are created equal. If you've been listening to this YouTube channel for the last 5-6 months, you've seen Samson Folk talk about this. You've seen Trey talk about this. I've talked about this before. Assists sometimes, especially on this Raptors team where sharing the ball is like, the number one thing, assists can be juiced and they can be fake. But I do think when it comes to Jamal Shead, there is something to be said about making the correct play and making the right play more often than not. And so let's talk about Jamal, because I thought he was very good, very, very good in this game. Jamal Shead has been knocking down 40% of his threes to start this season. His catch and shoot shot has been a big part of him being effective on the offensive end. But he also does a good job of attacking the paint. His quickness makes him specifically good for this, so he's able to get 2 feet into the paint, kick out. The Raptors are able to generate closeouts through that, and then because of that, he can also attack closeouts. His speed allows him to attack these tilted defenses as well. Here he is, does a great job of recognizing the help. A nice dump off pass to Brandon Ingram for the finish. This is a really nifty play. Again, it's a quiet play, but it's a big one when it comes to Jamal. So a great job by Jakob Poeltl here, recognizing that he has Donovan Mitchell on him. Jakob is going to clear this corner out. And with Scottie putting pressure on the defense in transition, Jared Allen is going to pick up here. And so this creates a mismatch opportunity almost immediately for the Raptors because of Jakob Poeltl clearing out this corner. Because if he does cut, you see Yak puts his hand up, right? So he's cutting, and now Mitchell has to pick him up. He cannot jump out to the perimeter and guard Jamal Shead. And so now you see it where Mitchell has to cut, has to follow Jakob, and now it's Jared Allen on Jamal Shead. Shead just attacks Allen, and once again, the mismatch opportunity, great recognition, a dump off. That is simple basketball, but it's the right play by Jamal Shead. Now, in transition, he does a great job of locating quick. Again, 1-on-2, he doesn't have numbers, but he recognizes that, again, because of his quickness, right? He can attack this way, he can attack this way, and that might get the help to come this way. He recognizes that Sam Merrill is here. He needs to get the attention of Sam Merrill because Quickley, one of the Raptors' best shooters, is going to come out to this area. So what he does, really great job. And also a good job of Scottie of filling a lane in transition, right? Because Scottie filling this lane is going to get Merrill to come a little bit closer. That creates opportunity for Quick. Quick spots up, knocks down the 3. Again, we talk about quickness and screen rejects. So, at this point, Mobley is yelling to Tomlin, hey, right. Screen is coming on the right side. So a great way for a guard to get downhill is to reject the screen because the defender is already shading right. He's ready to fight over this screen. And so screen reject, right? And Shead is able to blow by him. Great 1-2 move, great combo. Blows by him, gets downhill, finishes. And Shead's finishing needs to continuously improve, but getting downhill is the first step in that regard. Jamal Shead does a great job of manipulating the help in the zone here. And so as you see, Scottie's having a great night. And Mobley has to guard both Scottie and Jakob in the middle of the floor here. So what Jamal does, which is awesome, he recognizes this, right? And Mobley, shading towards Scottie, throws a dime to Jakob. And so Jamal Shead is putting his... And so Jamal Shead has had his fingers everywhere, has had his hands everywhere. He has been genuinely awesome off the bench. I wanted to break down Mamu, but what Mamu did tonight has become rather conventional for the Raptors. Knocking down threes, attacking closeouts. The development of Jamal Shead is the highlight here. I think the pace that he's playing at has been excellent. The playmaking that has been created because of how much he touches the paint. I was looking this up during the game, but Jamal Shead is 4th on the team in paint touches. The only players who touch the paint more are RJ Barrett, Scottie Barnes, and Jakob Poeltl. That is huge. He is a guy who can consistently get 2 feet inside the paint, and because of that, he makes the defense scramble. Yes, he has to improve as a finisher. Yes, he has to continuously, sharpen his instrument as a three-point shooter. He's done a good job so far this season, but like all of the right things that Jamal does on the floor for this team offensively, the way he just kind of churns their offense, gets things going, that's just an innate quality that he has as a player. And it's kind of undefinable, you know? I think that's why people end up making the Kyle Lowry comp for Jamal, because all of his impact doesn't necessarily jump out on the box score. Like if you look tonight, 8 points, 7 assists, 2 rebounds in 23 minutes, but he was plus 15. And so it doesn't scream at you that he's like this box score stat sheet stuffer, but the impact is undeniable. He has a long way to go to be actually Kyle Lowry. And will he ever get to that point in his career? That's unlikely. But the like do stuff is the best way to kind of quantify it here. He just does a lot. And maybe that kind of reminds me of like, TJ McConnell for the Indiana Pacers. He just gets into the game and starts mucking things up and starts wrecking things offensively and defensively. And I think that's a really amazing quality to have as a bench player. Let's talk about IQ and Jakob. Again, I talked about this in their game against the Brooklyn Nets. This is much better competition against the Cleveland Cavaliers. And I think Yak and IQ really had some great chemistry in this one. You're seeing IQ play some of his best basketball next to Yak. He had a great game tonight. Quick had 25 points, 6 assists, knocked down 5 of his 7 threes. This is the type of quick performance you can get because of Jakob Poeltl. Jakob slips this screen. This allows IQ to get Sam Merrill in jail. And look how Yak does a great job of sealing off Jared Allen from trying to contest this shot. IQ gets a floater. He misses that, but that is the type of offense that Jakob can generate for IQ. I love this out of timeout play for the Raptors. So watch as IQ ghosts a back screen here for Ingram, right? And instead of actually setting this screen, he's going to pop out here, and Jakob is going to set a screen here on Tomlin, and IQ will have a wide open shot right here. It's a really nifty play. And as you see it, nice flare screen. IQ, tons of space, tons of daylight, knocks down the 3. Same situation here, pick and roll, can't get over the screen. And watch, look at the lane. Look at the lane. Look how much opportunity IQ has to get downhill. When was the last time you saw IQ comfortably settle into a mid-range jump shot? That is the type of offense that Jakob Poeltl can generate for Immanuel Quickley, man. And I think that's a very, very clear source of offense for the Raptors, outside of Brandon Ingram, outside of Scottie Barnes, outside of RJ Barrett, who struggled again tonight offensively, but I thought he was really good in the second half, had a lot of high-effort plays when it comes to his rebounding, when it came to his playmaking. Knocked down a pretty clutch floater in the fourth quarter, too. But either way, the IQ-Jakob connection is a pillar for the Raptors offensively. There's a few pillars for this team offensively, right? It's like, let's run in transition. Scottie is our guy in transition, whether that's finishing or that's pushing the basketball himself off of live rebounds. IQ and Jakob together in the pick and roll is another pillar of the Raptors offense. IQ's pull-up shooting, Yak in the short roll area. That is one concept for this Raptors offensively. And RJ Barrett in dribble handoff situations and pick and rolls with Jakob Poeltl. Equally, another pillar for this Raptors offensively. And then if all of that fails, Brandon Ingram, please save this offensive possession. We are going to clear out in the pinch post area, and BI, you can cook. And by the way, it was a quiet night for BI, 11 points on 15 shots. I thought the shots that he made were very timely. There were moments of the game where the momentum was shifting. They needed something. They needed a good offensive possession, and he delivered. And so, again, one of those things where the box score doesn't really jump out to you, but this was a really, really fun and good game from a lot of Raptors. And, again, you should be excited. That's basically all I'll say. You should be excited about the Toronto Raptors because they're playing some really good basketball. They have after this game, this was sort of the game where I was like, this is a good test game. Let's see how they do. They have a very easy schedule moving forward. The Pacers on Saturday, the Hornets on Monday at home. They play Philly on Wednesday, which I think is another good test game. And then they play the Wizards, the Nets, the Cavs again, the Pacers, the Hornets, and the Knicks to finish off this season. A lot of Hornets, a lot of Knicks, a lot of Hornets, a lot of Nets, a lot of Pacers, a lot of bad basketball teams in there. They can take advantage of this. They can climb the Eastern Conference standings. They can rack up some wins. That is good news for your Toronto Raptors, folks. And by the way, stay locked in on this. Stay locked in on the film room. Listen to Pull Up Trey. Subscribe to Raptors Republic. We have a very good season ahead of us, y'all. And we want you to spend it with us. So we appreciate you as always. We will see you guys next time. Peace.